Hello to everybody. I'm Dr. Vandana Hegde. I'm practicing reproductive medicine in the Department of Hegde Fertility Center for the last 10 years. Now, as I've explained the entire cycle now, so now two important things are there now for the couples when they plan for their pregnancy. So one is the ovulation time. As I mentioned, when the ovulation happens, the female egg that releases out, its life is approximately 24 hours. Okay, and the male sperm, once the ejaculation happens, its lifespan in the female reproductive tract is about 3 to 5 days up to a maximum of 7 days. So for couples to plan fertility naturally, it is very important that they conceive during the period of female partner's ovulation time. And now ideally, because the female ovulation happens around the 14th day, it is ideally best for the couples to plan their intercourse at least 3 days prior to the ovulation time. So if they are ovulating around the 14th day, they can start planning the intercourse around probably the 10th day and up to a period of up to the 16th day. Ideally, intercourse beyond the period of ovulation does not help the couples in conceiving. So it's always the best to start planning even before the ovulation time. And alternate day intercourse is always much better than having a daily intercourse during the ovulation time. Now coming to the evaluation of the fertility. So when a couple comes to us with unable to conceive a child naturally after 1 year, so we do certain basic things, as I mentioned, that very important is that we ensure that how the egg is. So finally, to form an embryo, we need an egg from the female partner, the sperm from the male partner, and they should be able to meet internally. So what is very important is a normal egg, a normal sperm and a normal tube and a uterus. Okay, so we go assessment in that order. So ideally we get the male partner semen testing done in the first visit to ensure that the sperm count, the sperm motility and the sperm morphology are all within normal limits. So as I have mentioned that the sperm count of at least 15 million per ml with actively motile sperms of more than 15% and at least 4% of normal morphologically normal sperms. That means they should be genetically fit to give a healthy child. So this is assessed by doing a routine semen analysis where the male partner gives a semen sample with at least a 3 to 4 days abstinence, and this semen sample is examined under a microscope and where the analysis is done with respect to count, motility and morphology. Now if the semen criteria is satisfied and it is normal, then we evaluate the female partner. Now the female partner, if she has regular cycles, we assume that the ovulation is happening normally. So but there are certain girls who have irregular periods. Now they may have periods quite early, some girls, and some may have a little delayed cycle. Now what is the main issue over here is mainly their ovulation. Probably they are not ovulating around the 14th day, but there are two dysfunctions over here. One is anovulatory. There may be certain girls who may not be ovulating at all, where there is no egg formation, there is no ovulation, and these criteria of girls are managed in a different way. Now there are other girls who are probably having a shorter cycles, like they are ovulating very early. So now we need to differentiate between these girls because our whole management depends upon correcting these abnormalities. Now coming to the other part is the tubes. Now once the sperm is there and the egg is there, they should have a patent fallopian tube for them to meet. So ideally what we do is when a couple comes to us, we evaluate the sperm parameters, the ovum parameters, and then we do a timed intercourse for them. That is, we start basic tracking of their follicle growth, because what is the best thing is the follicle is seen on the ultrasound machine. So basic ultrasound is done initially to diagnose if the female's uterus, the ovaries are all normal. They should not be having any fibroids or ovarian cysts. So fibroids are just tumors in the uterus which can prevent implantation of the embryo, and there is maybe some ovarian cyst which actually preventing normal ovulation, and there may be other cysts which require surgical removal. So we do a basic ultrasound scan to rule out all other major things and then proceed with follicular tracking. Now what is follicular tracking? Follicular tracking means this follicle is basically seen on the scan. Though we cannot see the egg on the scan, the follicle is seen. So when the couple comes to us in the initial part, we track this follicle growth and we tell them that okay, this is the time the female is ovulating, and we give them the dates to meet. So this is done on a monthly basis for at least 2 to 3 cycles. Now even in spite of tracking the natural cycle follicular growth and a timed intercourse, if the couples are not able to conceive, then we go with other evaluations like is the tube open, is the uterine cavity normal. So there are tests to check if the fallopian tubes are open. Now it's very important that the tube is open because it's in the tube that all the activities happen, like the egg and the sperm meet here, the embryo is formed, the embryo gets transported back to the uterus. So there is a test called the hysterosalpingogram where a dye is pushed through the uterine end, and this dye is traveling along the cavity, coming into the tubes, and they come out. So this is recorded in an X-ray film. Okay. So the X-ray film records this passage of the dye, and if the dye has come out of the tubes on both the sides, that means they are patent, whereas if there is a block in any of the tubes, then the dye gets stuck there and doesn't come out. So that's how we diagnose tubal blocks. So what happens if the tube is blocked over here? The ovulation that happens here, the egg stays here, and the ejaculation that happens here, the sperms may reach till here, but they are not able to meet the egg. So the egg and the sperm do not meet, and they cause fertility issues. So we do other assessments like there is a diagnostic hysteroscopy, laparoscopy. So these procedures are all invasive procedures done under anesthesia when couples do not conceive in spite of more than 6 months of fertility planning. So this is the uterine cavity, with these things are called fibroids, which are small tumors within the cavity which can prevent embryo from implanting, and these are absolutely necessary to be removed if the couple is not conceiving with these present there. And there are other things that we diagnose. Laparoscopy is a procedure done under anesthesia where we put a camera into the abdominal cavity to record if the tube and ovaries are in normal position, and the hysteroscopy is a procedure done under anesthesia again. Through the vaginal route, the camera is passed into the uterine cavity to diagnose if the cavity is normal. Then we proceed with further treatment.